Hello everyone, welcome back to Obsessive Prepper AZ. This is like the take 31, 32. I'm telling you what, this has been a hard video for me because I'm trying to do a life update, let you all know how my husband, James Highwayman Trucking's doing, and myself. One of our subscribers, Gracie, had asked, she had noticed that we hadn't done videos in a couple weeks and just asking how we were. So it kind of spurred this video, but then I've got so much on my mind I want to talk about. It's one of those things where I've just got so much on my mind and I just am kind of going to go off and in different directions, so bear with me here. Gracie, thank you for asking. My husband and I are doing great. I have not been out of the house in over 3 weeks. We are practicing social distancing at its finest. I haven't done my hair in 3 weeks. It's the first time I've done it. I wash my hair, throw it up on a bun, no makeup, and kind of going around the house just raw. Boy, I'm telling you, raw. And one thing that's nice about it is I do not have to worry about ruining my hair. I'm letting it get healthy, and then once this is all over, go get it colored, chop it off, and I'll also have some healthy hair. So that's probably one of the positives about social distancing. My husband, he has been having to leave the house because we still have to make money, and there are so many people that are have loss of income. I can't even imagine. Just in the trucking world has been pulled back tremendously. So, you know, normally James can find a load, go out, and he runs it. It's not so easy right now. So he's pretty much taking what he can. He is in El Paso. He dropped off a delivery in El Paso, picked up a delivery this morning to go to Flagstaff, and then he'll be home probably sometime tomorrow night. When he's out, he is practicing social distancing. He has got his hand sanitizer. Luckily, as preppers, I have face masks, so he has those. And he does a lot of his business inside the truck. He's not going into truck stops. So he's taking food with him. He's able to eat inside the truck. So go to the bathroom in the truck, get rid of the waste. He has a luggable loo or a Reliance toilet seat that goes on a 5-gallon bucket. Whatever works for you, that's what he's doing. He's not leaving his truck. So when he's out, it may be to have to fuel. He wears gloves, he puts his face mask on, and then he gets in his truck and he hand sanitizes, and he's doing the best that he can. And so that's what he's doing. When he gets inside the house, he takes when he comes home, he comes to the front door. I open it up for him. He takes his shoes off. He takes his clothes off. We get him right into the washer. He goes and takes a shower. And literally at that point, he backtracks everywhere he went with hand sanitizer, Lysol, Windex, and cleans his keys, his phone, everything, so he's not bringing it inside the house. And you know, these days, it's one of those things where you really have to stress hygiene. And so that's what he's doing when he comes home and when he's out on the road. So again, practice social distancing, and you know, we see this trend going on right now, and hopefully it doesn't break our economy. But it's something as a prepper we have to think about. Now, I push all the time, and for all of you that are new watching this video, I've been prepping for over 20 years, and I have pushed for everybody to learn how to prep. And now, whoops, wind gusts going on. Now that we're in this situation, we have to continue to prep. Why do we need to continue to prep? Because we don't know about loss of jobs, loss of the food supply, the chain coming through. If you're able still to be able to prep on certain levels, then I suggest to keep prepping. And a lot of you have wondered what I've been doing, and if you haven't gone over to Instagram, I've got an Instagram and Facebook, Obsessive Prepper AZ, and I kind of show you what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. Some fun things, and then some things like making strawberry spread, and I just finished 13 jars of strawberry spread. I still dehydrate, and I still try to do things to add to my preps, even during these difficult times. One of the things that I'm doing is my gardening, and I strongly suggest for you to keep prepping. Now, I don't want to be out there. I've seen like lately some videos out there that are the doom and gloom, and those are always out there. But if you follow my channel, if you're new to my channel, I just tell you to prep for any occasion. And luckily, because we are preppers, we've been able to live this thing out for 3 weeks. Really no impact on my family other than the income maybe coming in through our business. But as far as food supply, food chain, we're prepared, we are taken care of. And that's why I say that even though you might be preppers and you're taken care of now, doesn't mean that you shouldn't stop prepping. I wake up this morning, I saw about a week ago that Tyson plant had shut one of its locations down, but more meat packing plants are shutting down. A few days ago, I watched them dump milk because nobody's buying the milk. And I kind of question that because it's like, you know, I know I've seen on posts where they're limiting milk to 1 gallon per customer, and yet this farm is having to dump its milk. So I think people have got to be a little bit more smarter, the grocery stores, etc. If they've got a lot of milk, then sell more than 1 container. Why are we dumping milk out? That's just a thought going through my head. Maybe you all have more answers to it than I do. But going back to the meat packing and why we should prep is because this thing is going to go on longer than we thought it was going to go on, or anybody possibly could intentionally even think of how long it's going to go on. And what are the certain industries that are going to be impacted by it? What is going to shut down? And even though the trucking industry out there says that the trucks are moving, there's a lot of food, don't worry about it. I've got some yeses and nos on that, because even though truck industry, or they say that these places have a lot of food, in the trucking world, it's one of those things where these truck drivers are, going across country delivering the food. Let's say they get to Walmart or grocery store and they're sitting there for a day, 2 days, 3 days, just trying to get unloaded. So then that truck driver, you've got to think past just the food supply chain. This truck driver is trying to make a living. He's not bringing in the income he once did because he is living off of miles. That's how he makes his living, off of miles. So he takes this load, let's call it from, I don't know, Houston, and he brings it up to Arizona. Took him a day and a half to get here. And then he's got to sit in line for 2 days, possibly 3 days, to get his truck unloaded. He is not flipping his miles. Now he can't bring in the money that he normally brings in. So now he's got to look at, is this job worthy of what I am doing, of me being at home or being out on the road, exposing myself? I mean, these things come into play. And so maybe it's better for him to just go home, be on unemployment. And that sounds bad, but this is in a lot of people's minds. My husband and his trucking industry, we don't have nearly the freight. Why is that? Well, a lot of the companies are shutting down because of social distancing. So normally maybe he would haul still and the plants are not shipping. We've had situations where he's gone to make the delivery and then the delivery site is shut down, or you have to contact so-and-so. You can't just pull in, you've got to deal with it. And so this takes hours at a time. And so, all this stuff trickles down to us. And that is why you need to prep, is in the industries. You can work from home, but maybe you can't. And so all these people are loss of income, loss of job. And then somebody in a warehouse gets sick and they've got to shut down the entire factory because that person's sick. So supply chains can get held up, not only from the factory, but from the driver, from the companies that can't exist because they're making no money, that are filing bankruptcy or folding because they don't have the money to be able to live this out. And yeah, the money's coming from the government, but we know how that works. So going back to keep prepping. And if it's not where you can leave your house, maybe somebody in your family still works outside the house. My son still has his job, and so he'll go by the farmer's market, and that's where I got my strawberries. I got a pallet of strawberries, 8 containers for $4, and that's why I did the strawberry spread. So maybe somebody that is outside the house, your friends, family, that can bring you something in to let you be able to dehydrate or do something for your preps. In my Instagrams, like I had said, I show you what I'm doing on a day-to-day. I'm still dehydrating. I just did peas and carrots and mixed vegetables. I have tons of these. Now this is 1 quart, and it is 6 bags, 6 pounds of frozen mixed vegetables. 6 pounds of peas and carrots. And why do I do this? I had a subscriber make a comment recently to me that said the nutritional content in dehydrated food is not all that great. I need to do freeze-dried. But what I try to do, freeze-dried's great, but it's expensive. I don't know most people having the money to buy number 10 cans of freeze-dried food. It's very expensive. The machine's $2,000, and if you've got the funds to do it, then by all means do it. But the nutritional content in weighing is not that much that you can't dehydrate your own foods. Now, I've been doing this for a long time, and on our dehydrated vegetables, we can store in the upwards of 15 years, 20, 25 years, just as long as a freeze-dried product. The only difference is freeze-dried foods, you don't have to have that much water to reconstitute them. They puff up real quick. They don't use a lot of water. So you've got to weigh the cost of a freeze-dried product versus dehydrated. So, my tip 2 would be, if you're going to store dehydrated, then make sure you have enough water to rehydrate your dehydrated, because it is going to use more water. Also, when you're rehydrating your dehydrated foods, don't add salt to it, because salt hinders it from reconstituting, from the water getting into the product. So add your salts after you've cooked your product up and it's reconstituted. But you're looking at 6 pounds of vegetables in 1 quart. I mean, we're not tying up our freezer. It took very little to dehydrate this. Again, talking about one of the things that I do, I always put the date that I did it. I've got 6 pounds of vegetables here, and it's just smart to dehydrate. So as a prepper, I'm always telling you to do something. So we're learning how to garden, or we're learning how to store food. If there's your family members are still working and you don't want to leave the house, have them bring you something to do, can some potatoes, and if you're not doing that, pick up a book and read. Learn about things that you can do around the house that in case something happens. I'm a big fan of finding articles. I've got a book that I have, and I did a video. If you look down below, I've got just so many videos that if I find how to make a solar still, print that off, put it in your book. How to do this, print it off, put it in your book. In case of a biowarfare, what to do, what are the procedures? Learn that, how to decontaminate yourself, how to decontaminate your house, how to not contaminate your house. And so there's so many sites, FEMA, the CDC, that has this stuff. You can print it off, make your own book on how to do certain things. I think learning is big. You need to know how to do a little bit of everything. Another thing that I've been active in doing lately is gardening. I have been real busy in my garden and getting it going. Springtime, this is when we want to do it. And as preppers, if you don't know how to garden, I strongly suggest you learn how to. Being self-sustainable that way is a win-win. You can't plan on buying seeds and putting them away and not know the basics of gardening. And so I just strongly suggest, and I know a lot of people out there do not have property to garden, don't have the means to have a lot of gardening areas, but there are container gardens, and there's so much vertical gardening that you can do. And one of the people that I love to watch is Cal Kim, and I'll leave the link down below. She lives in California, and she's just great on showing you all sorts of gardening and container gardening, and she doesn't ramble on. She gets down to the basics. I'm a rambler. She gets to the basics and she shows you how to garden. And so if you don't know how to garden, go over to her channel, watch some of her videos. It's just one of those things as preppers. We go purchase seeds, but do you know what to do with those seeds? And also talk to your neighbors. Maybe there's something that you can't grow, but your neighbors can. And so, you need to have that network of friends that you can share food. Maybe you don't have that space and all you can grow is zucchini, but maybe they're growing something else. And then we can do this barter thing. I know every year I'm hauling vegetables off to everybody I know. Zucchini always gets out of hand. And I probably grow more than I should, but we do what we do, and those little zucchinis just get crazy. Sometimes we've got big old ones, but learn how to garden. I don't show you my aspects of gardening because there's so many good videos out there. And as a prepper, this is kind of one of the things I want to talk about because I've had comments in the past. I know as a prepper that I don't want to show every aspect of my life. That's a 101 as a prepping, but I kind of give some of that up because I want to teach people how to prep and have a shelf-stable pantry. And I've got tons of videos. I just had somebody make a comment today on I was right. I don't want to be right, and it was reference to my medical supplies. I don't want to be right. I want everybody to be right. We cannot plan on the government to be there for us. We have to be independent and rely on ourselves. This keeps us from running to the grocery stores. This keeps us from emptying the grocery stores out. And I know all of us out there that are preppers, in the back of our heads, we're like, well, everything we were worried about actually happened. And it did happen to extremes that some of us couldn't even believe happened. But I don't want to be right. I want to teach everybody how to prep, the basic guidelines. But as a prepper, I don't give all my details out. And I've had people comment that she only does food. You gotta know, as a prepper, I do every aspect of prepping, from a garden to guns and ammo, to solar sun ovens, to freeze dried, to solar lights, fuel. I've got videos, go down into my playlist. I've got everything, and I used to show everything, but I don't do that so much anymore because I just don't want to put myself completely out there. And that goes with my gardening. There's so many people out there that garden and do it well that can teach you. So go to Cal Kim and some of those other channels and learn how to garden. Don't wait till the food supplies dried up and now you've got to put a seed in the ground, because it's not going to be successful, because even the best gardener out there has fails. But at least they have more wins than fails because they've been doing it for a while. I had another subscriber, NGB, this morning ask a question, and she says, sorry if it sounds silly or a rookie question. I'm not sure exactly. I'll leave it up here. And she's asking, when I talk about turning, what do I mean? What I'm talking about is if you have a food supply that we've put in our pantry, I am big on putting the dates on the day I purchased it. So when I put it into any of my cabinets, I will put 4/20. So I know that I purchased it on 4/20. And the reason why I do that is I don't always follow the best by dates, because we know we can get longer time on those things. But when I say turn, what I mean is rotate, rotate, rotate. I do not believe that anybody should buy food unless it's your long term and you're going to put it away like a freeze dried. You might can sit on it for 20 years, 25 years. But in your pantry, I strongly suggest that you put dates on when you purchased it. If you go to the store and you buy another 12 cans of green beans, just per se, then you put that date on it. Make sure you put it in the back. It's like grocery store 101. Put the older product in front, the newer product in back. Rotate. So let's say if you're getting to the ends of those dates, don't let them go bad. Don't let them go bad. If you've got kids, if you've got neighbors, give it to them. I strongly suggest the food banks need food. They really do. So if you're getting to the point, instead of having, I know a lot of people go out and buy cases and cases of food. Instead of letting it go bad, take it to the food banks, donate it. You get a tax deduction. And then at the same point, you also can go back and buy newer food. But if you rotate your food, that eliminates so much of your food preps and your food storage. So there's another tip, just rotate, rotate. And NGB, there is no stupid question. There is no rookie question. As long as we're all learning, it's a win-win. We are not here on this earth to not learn. And I always say when I'm done learning is when it's my time to go. So no questions are silly questions. Well, I hope the video wasn't too long. Again, I'm just trying to answer some of the questions, let you know what we're up to. I hope you all are safe and healthy. Check out Instagram again. I will probably be posting something tomorrow. My husband and I are going to go out in the Jeep and do some social distancing, four-wheeling, have a little picnic out in the desert. It's a time of year, it's springtime in Arizona deserts. I can't even tell you, if you ever come to visit, go out into our deserts in the springtime, because it's beautiful. So I'm sure I'll probably post something on Instagram about that. And again, I love corresponding back and forth with all of my subscribers. And I miss talking to some of you. I know that a lot of you are quiet and doing your thing. And I think about each and every one of you, from Alpha Jack up in the New York area to Pam in Hawaii and Mary Gallagher, and you all mean something to me, and I do form this little relationship with you all, and I just hope that you're all safe and make it through this time that we have. And today is Good Friday, and 2 days from now is Easter, and we're going to be at the peak of whatever's going on that's going to happen. And I pray that you all are safe and healthy, and you know, anyone that is out there that has loved ones that are struggling right now, I just pray that you're all just safe and healthy. And I'll leave it there, and God bless you all.